3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like a homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't cheat, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty roads. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't doing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. On these hoes cause you know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of in the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be as help me, shout to let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Good evening to you all. Happy Thursday to you all. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. As I remind you every week, you could be anywhere on the worldwide internet, but you are here with me this evening, and I so much appreciate that. And of course, we would not be here if it were not for the grace, the mercy, the love, and the kindness of the Almighty Yahweh, creator of the heavens and the earth, and who sits high and looks low, who gives us breath in our bodies, and all praises due to the Most High. Just in case you're new here, please allow me to introduce myself. I go by at Miss Mono's World in these content creator streets, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the place where the content creators be. Take a gander, get to know myself and my family. Speaking of family, Monologue with Dad, ladies and gentlemen, the head of the house of Mono. Oh, I was trying to figure out how to fix that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, you know what I'm saying? I know how to do everything, you know what I'm talking about? You know what that coming at.
Good night, sir. Oh my goodness, y'all. That's my husband. Please excuse him. If you would like to get to know more about him, get to know his music, see past podcast episodes, or you're just not on the YouTube, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. After you watch us live, you can go through, check out past episodes, check out some music, check out some visuals, all kind of good stuff at Monologue Magad. Okay. Shout out to my audience on the Saya TV. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I'm live on the Saya TV every Thursday at 8 o'clock. Same black time, same black station every week, 8 o'clock. If you have not downloaded the Nasaya TV app, please go ahead and do that on your Roku, your smart TVs, your Fire Sticks, all the good places. Go ahead and download the Nasaya TV app. Okay, what is up, y'all? Like, this has been a very crazy week, right? A crazy couple of weeks, I guess I should say. Our main topic is like a hook in the nose. We're going to talk about what that means. We're going to talk about different aspects of that. Nasaya, Shalom, thank you so much for joining me this evening. We're going to talk about all the different aspects of that. That's going to be our main topic. But before we get to our main topic, I was watching Basketball Wives. Please excuse my hair. Y'all know how it is with natural hair, be doing things. I was watching Basketball Wives, and it came up, the subject of scammers on reality TV, okay? Whether they be the TV stars themselves, or whether it be someone that's dating, or whatever one of these reality TV stars. Uncle Man, Shalom, thank you for joining me. Or whether they be trying to date one of these reality stars. For some reason, it never fails to be a scammer or two in the crowd. And so I wanted to talk about red flags, okay? Because a lot of times it's just, it seems like when we give something a name, or when we generalize something and start to refer to a bunch of symptoms as a thing, it's easy for us to make light of it and joke about it, right? Like, if I was to come to you and be like, hey, I don't feel comfortable, this person kind of gives me the creeps, they do such and such a thing, you would be like, oh, you need to get away from them. But when we talk about red flags, now it's a joke, now it's an internet trend, da da da. But I feel like we really need to discuss this. And the first thing I'm going to say is, just as a society, I remember the emergence of participation trophies. Okay. When I was in elementary school and we did field day and gym and any other kind of competition, whoever won is whoever won. Okay. You won, you got the trophy. It was first place, second place, third place, whatever. Everybody wasn't a winner. There was no participation trophies. This is before you had stuff like the Up Sports League, where everybody gets to play no matter what, or like I-9, where everybody gets to play no matter what. Right. And I feel like because we've grown up in this kind of let's include everyone, we kind of have stopped being as critical as we need to be when it comes to the people that we're allowing in our lives. Okay. Now I'm not saying that, oh, we need to be excuse me, I'm sorry. Y'all know I had to get the fan. I'm not saying that we need to be so critical of random people passing by. I mean, random people passing by is not your business, okay? It's not anybody's business. They're not talking to you. But when you start hold on. I'm trying to fix the fan here. Okay. When you start letting people into your life, talking about you're trying to get to know them, whether it be as a friend or as someone to date, okay, now it's time for us to be critical. I don't know how many times you all have seen like a mugshot or someone, like, you know how they report a crime on the news and then they talk about the suspect and then they show you the mugshot. And I don't know how many times this has happened to you, but it happens to me a lot. Well, I'll be sitting there looking at the mugshot and be like, well, they look crazy. I could have told you not to, not to date this person. They look crazy. Or you hear the details of the crime and you be like, well, that should have been obvious from the beginning. And I feel like between us being such a, oh, let's not judge anybody type of society and the desperation of loneliness, between those two factors, a lot of times we ignore really, really big red flags when it comes to people in our life. Shy, shalom, and shalom. That's Chanel. Hey, Chanel. We ignore really, really big red flags when it comes to people in our life, right? So in this situation, when I'm talking about in particular, Jennifer Williams is on Basketball Wives and she's dating this guy from nowhere. Okay. Now this girl's been known to date NBA players and all other kind of people of that level of affluence. Okay. She's also been known for getting scammed a few times. That being said, this guy that she's dating right now has no concrete source of income. What I mean by that is if you ask him what he does, oh, I do this here, I do this there, I day trade, I get a little money here and I get a little money there. And then he was saying that he owns a business, but he's not making any money off this business. But the whole time, Jennifer is insisting that he's funding part of their lifestyle. Okay. And now, okay, see, I'm not the only one. Jennifer's insisting that like he's funding part of their lifestyle, and she does not appear to live anything less than an extravagant lifestyle. She's never not in name brand. I mean, she's on a reality show. This is the life that she lives, okay? And so here this guy comes, 15 years younger than her, which I'm sorry. If you are a woman of a certain age and of a certain level of affluence, like there are just some things that you should just automatically like set off your spidey senses. Okay. Someone 15 years younger than you, no reliable, constant source of income. Like you can't show me a Square report. You can't show me W-2s. You can't show me check stubs. You can't show me anything. And so in the episode we were watching, Jen is a bird brain though. She get a drink thrown on her by her ex. She did. And she is a bit of a bird brain. And that's why I say she's been scammed before. Okay. And matter of fact, she did like a whole mini series about it because the same guy that scammed her was like scamming all kind of women across the country. So there was a whole VH1, like My True Crime Story special about it. Okay. And so now they're planning this wedding and she wants the wedding to be in Paris and she wants to have 4 different dresses for the wedding and she wants this and she wants that for their wedding. So as they're meeting with the wedding planner, they're sitting down to meet with the wedding planner online, and he tells her that he has to pay $250,000 in restitution. Now, listen, I'm no criminal. I'm no expert on the criminal justice system at all. Like that is one thing I could care less to know anything about personally. You understand what I'm saying? But a $250,000 restitution, baby, we're not talking about you parked in a handicap spot or something like that. We're not even talking about $250,000, and he's on probation for 10 years. And the way he tried to explain the situation was he was standing in front of the door trying to block a woman from leaving, whatever, something or other. And that's all he told of the situation. Supposedly, the judge was crazy. The judge didn't like him, and she hit him with this sentence: 10 years probation and $250,000 in restitution. He's definitely a scammer. He's a scammer and he's a liar. And then I'm sorry, I don't listen. This why I be telling y'all, get to know these men before you lay down with them. Because once you start laying down with them, like, the common sense part of your brain shuts off. Jennifer claims that she knew he had to pay restitution when they first got together. She just didn't know how much it was. Man, sis cousin, if a man is telling you that he owes the government money, before you agree to marry him, wouldn't you want to know how much that is and why he owes it? How are we going to plan a wedding and you got a bill to the freaking government due? And you're not going to ask any questions? You don't want to see no paperwork? You don't want to try to figure out what went on? Because here's what y'all got to understand. If a man, if he does it to his ex, he will do it to you. I don't know why we get in these relationships with these men and we think for some reason, oh, we're so special. He'll never do that to me. Honey, you might as well go ahead and like prepare for that to be the conclusion of your story, because it's going to happen to you. When you meet these serial scammers, it's not just one woman. They leave a trail of women all over the place. Y'all seen Ninja Turtle dude from Pop the Balloon? If you haven't, just Google it or go on YouTube and put in Ninja Turtle from Pop the Balloon. Listen, when I looked at that man, I said, oh, he's a woman beater. What? Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, boo. Booster, I don't know what he into. I don't know what he into, but he's into something serious. So when I looked at Ninja Turtle dude, I said he beats women. And let me tell you something, okay? I've been in an abusive relationship, horribly abusive. I can spot a woman beater from a mile away. Listen, ask any other woman who's ever been in an abusive relationship. I guarantee you, one thing we can do is spot a woman beater. I don't care how he's dressed up. I don't care how he's suited up. I don't care if he calls himself minister, deacon, pastor, bishop. I can spot a woman beater. You know that spirit. Okay? I don't understand why as women we are not. Look, what are you going to lose by waiting? What are you going to lose by waiting and letting everything sort itself out? Because if nothing's going to tell the truth, time is going to tell the truth. All right? You know, they always talk about men lying, women lying, numbers on. You know what else? Don't lie, time. Time is going to tell the truth, especially, you know what I'm saying? You're praying, you got a relationship with the Most High, you're trying. He's never going to let you walk into anything blindly. Now, whether you choose to listen or not, that's up to you. And so that's what I'm here to talk to y'all about. Because everybody around this woman is telling her, dude is a scammer. This don't sound right. Dude is a scammer. This don't sound right. But she just, no, he's not a scammer. We're in love and da-da-da-da-da. Yes, Ninja Turtle dude. That's what everybody call him. You know, we're in love and we're all this and we're all that. And no, honey, everybody around you can see that this guy's a scammer. It's like when I'm putting on my makeup, I have a little mirror in front of the big mirror. So I use the little mirror to apply. And then I step back and look in the big mirror so I can see everything. So it's like that when you're dating someone. You're all up close and you're all giddy and you're all in your little bubble of infatuation. So you can't step back and see everything, but everybody around you can see everything. And so I implore you, ma'am, sis, cousin, like, don't be afraid to judge critically when it comes to you and your life. And if he has a problem with you asking questions, that's another red flag. If he has, I don't care how many times. Listen, me and my husband have been married for 10 years. All praises to the Most High. I don't care if I've been asking the same question for 10 years. I'm going to keep asking that question until I get an answer that makes me comfortable. And if they cannot give you an answer that makes you comfortable, then baby, run. And he looked like he beat women. Exactly. I don't know. Look, it's just, it has to be that spirit that gives, it has to be. You, I don't know how else to explain it if you've never experienced like your discernment working. But you ever just look at somebody and know like, they ain't up to no good. They ain't about nothing. Nope, need to stay away from her. Like, so I don't know how else to explain it, but you just know. Like, you just know. You know how they say like predators can tell like who they can abuse and who they can't. It's kind of like that. Like once you've been traumatized by something, you recognize that thing. You understand? It's like PTSD kind of. It's like, oh nope, you're on alert. So you recognize it no matter what. Okay. And so even if you haven't been in that situation, right? But you're getting those vibes from this person, like you need to listen to that. You need to take a step back because you're not feeling that for nothing. Like that's a warning. Like that's the Most High trying to, you know what I'm saying, sound the alarm and tell you like, no, it's time for you to go. There's no look. You have to start weighing your costs. You have to start weighing the cost of a thing. You can, first of all, you can never get time back. Whether you spend 3 months, 6 months, a year, however much time you spend with this, you're never going to get that time back. And that's one thing you need to consider. The other thing you need to consider, again, I keep telling y'all, like, yeah, you may make it out the situation alive, but you don't know what emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, or physical shape that you're going to be in at the end of that thing. There are women who get in relationships and it starts with a slap and a punch, and the next thing you know, they have holes in their stomach and they have to wear colostomy bags for the rest of their lives because they've been shot or in some worse predicament. Now they're dependent on family to take care of them, and you're it's so much that can go wrong. You're like, yeah, you can choose to walk in the door, but what's on the other side of the door, you have no control over. And we will steady walk toward that door, even though everything inside of us is telling us not to go. You're just so curious. You just feel like you're so in love. You just feel like, oh, I'm so different from anybody else he's ever dated. He's never going to do that to me. I had a girl tell me that one time, like, well, everybody else says that he treats them bad, but he never does that to me. And he ended up treating her real bad. Please stop thinking that there's something special about you, that you can make a tiger change his stripes, or you can make a snake not be a snake. You don't see a bee and keep walking toward the bee thinking that, oh, it's going to turn into a butterfly. No, you see the bee, you know the bee can possibly sting you, so you're going to stay away from it. We have to start having that same mindset when it comes to people. And I told y'all a story a while ago. Listen, you only got one time to hurt me, babe. You only, now this is in my this is in my dating days. You only have one time to hurt me. I'm good. I don't never, nope. I don't never need to be around you. I don't never need to deal with you. I'm all right. And yes, it took me a while to get there, right? And so what I hate is when Like, this has even happened to me personally. Like, I'll be trying to share a story with a younger sister, like, hey, sis, you don't really need to do that. I think, you know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at da 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 da. And then the first thing out of somebody's mouth was, well, you did it. So if I did it, and I know the outcome was not a pleasant one, isn't it my job to warn those coming after me not to do the same thing? Or shall I just let you venture off into the street and get hit by a car? I never understood that. Oh, shut up, you did it. All the more reason for me not to shut up, because I have firsthand personal knowledge about where this is going to end you up. You think I'm the enemy. The fact of the matter is, the one that doesn't want you to hear the truth is your enemy. You think I'm against you. You think I'm hating. And please, y'all have to stop with this. Oh, you just hating because you old. You just hating because you can't do it no more. Baby, it's never that. It's never that. Because one thing I need y'all to, please, I need y'all to understand this. And I'm not just speaking for me. I'm speaking for a lot of women who have decided to come into the light of the word of the Most High, and have decided to live right and to take on a modest countenance and modest apparel. And we keep ourselves quiet and meek. We're obedient to our husbands. We're faithful. We're home with our children. We're cooking. We're cleaning. We're doing all that good stuff. Please don't ever for one moment get it twisted and think that the business is not going on up under these clothes. Please don't think that I couldn't if I wanted to. Okay? That's what y'all got to realize. Like, it's not that I can't no more. Okay? It's that I know better now. It's just that I know better. And I know that what you think is the way is not. I know that what you think is right, that it is absolutely wrong. So why would I continue to sit among sinners? Why would I continue to do these things? How ignorant would that be of me if I did not get up here and warn my sisters and say, listen, don't force yourself into any situation that does not feel right. There is a difference between natural inflection in conversation, even in intense conversation. Like, even if we talk about something that's heated, there's a difference between just a natural inflection, like, oh my God, da, 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 da. You understand what I'm saying? Not even that loud, but I'm trying to, like, the natural course of a conversation. All right. There's a difference between that and someone like raising their voice and like yelling and screaming at you. And I'm not saying that men should take it from women. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, as a woman, if a man does not react to you reacting to him, you need to pay attention to that. Okay. If y'all getting an intense discussion or argument, whatever you want to call it, and he get a little too loud for you, or you don't like some of the things that he says and you address it and he's not willing to change, you need to pay attention to that. Because if your emotion, if he is not responsive to your feelings, even in his times of anger, he's never going to care. He's never going to care how you feel. His anger will always be more important than your feelings. And unfortunately, that's not a good combination. Okay, but these are the things that you discover while you're dating. And then you just, oh, well, he's this. Oh, well, this happens. Oh, well, that happens. And so you keep letting these things go. And then next thing you know, you're in court, you're in jail, you're being arrested. He's in jail. Nothing good is going to come out of that. And then God forbid you get pregnant. Now you brought a whole nother innocent life into this mess. The red flags are supposed to be shocking. It's supposed to be alarming. It's supposed to like set you off. It's not supposed to make you want to go closer to it. First, for a long time, we as Black women have been fed this, oh, gotta have a thug, gotta have a roughneck. I need a soldier. He gotta be a gangster. We've been fed this, right? And so now when we see a red flag in a man, it's not a warning so much as it is a challenge. Like, ooh, I can be the one to change him, because right, we've been our head has been filled with these songs that we can be that one and only magical girl who, is gonna make him change his ways. We've been shown all these stupid hood movies, like freaking Boys in the Hood. I don't even remember Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character in that movie. But like after the shooting, when he went to Nia Long's house and they were like, we've been fed this crap to make it feel like, oh, this is what it has to be. There has to be drama. It has to be dangerous. Like it has to be all this mayhem in order for it to feel right, to be real love. And the fact of the matter is it doesn't. It doesn't. You can have a very peaceful, like, that's usually a sign of a healthy relationship, like calm and peace, stability, not a lot of in and out and up and down. And so unfortunately, as Black women, we've been sold that fantasy for so long that when these things come up in real life, we don't have the wherewithal to say, no, this is not what I want for my life. I don't deserve this. For some reason, we feel like, oh, let me help him. Let me take care of him. Let me be the one to change his heart. And he's just been so misled, and his mama didn't love him and his daddy didn't love him. And I'm the only person in the world who girl, stop. Stop. Because just like Ninja Turtle dude was going from single mother to single mother to single mother, living off of them, scamming off of them. I don't know why you feel like that this person in front of you is not doing the same thing. And then when your time runs out, when they've tapped all your resources and when they're done with you, they're going to be on to the next person. And there's no retribution for love scams. The police are not going to help you. Not unless it's enough of y'all, and even then, it's not like you're going to get your money back. Where he going to get it from? He only make 5 cents a day working in jail. So where he going to get the money from? Like, some stuff you get into and you can't get out of it no matter how hard you try. Them be the things that I be telling you, like the best way out of this situation is to never get in it in the first place. It's one of those situations. It's why the red flag is so loud and so starky. And unfortunately, I feel like because it's people that don't like Jennifer that are telling her that her man is a scammer, it makes it harder for her to sit down and really consider it. And I'm not saying her friends haven't told her. I'm not saying that. But when you see it on television, it's always someone who does not like her or someone who she's not getting along with that's telling her, your man's a scammer, your man's a scammer. And so I don't know if, I don't know her mindset. So I don't know if the thought of breaking up with him is worse than the thought of being alone. You would think that as someone who has fame and wealth, that she wouldn't have a problem finding a man who was her equal. You would think that, right? But this is what I be telling y'all, like, no, you got to have something to bring to the table. You have to have something. Like, you can't just feel like, oh, I'm pretty and I have this thing between my legs, so that's it. You have to bring something to add, something to help with, even if it is just your intelligence and your mindset and your willingness and your ability to help that man work and help that man build something. You have to be, you know what I'm saying? You have to have that at least. And it's not just her. We can look at a lot of Black women who are in the media. Freaking Ebony K. Williams, a respected journalist, and blah, 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 just went and bought sperm to make herself a single mother. She made herself a single mother. And a lot of them are doing that, making themselves single mothers. So please stop thinking that, oh, if I get IG famous, or if I get on a reality show, if I do this, if I do that, then all my problems are going to be solved, and I'll have this and I'll have that. Because the fact of the matter is, no, you're just walking into a different set of problems, and now you're walking amongst a group of people who you're not familiar with. Pay attention to the red flags, especially if more than one person is telling you. Okay, like once might be a mistake, twice maybe, but three. We got to pay attention. We got to start looking around, because when it goes down, okay, and she gonna be sitting there crying and everything else again. Sorry. Why is the kids calling me? I don't know. She gonna be crying and everything else again. And then what? Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. If you like what I'm saying, or you like what we have going on here at the House of Mono, please head over to the Cash App, $, where is it? $, the House of Mono. There you go. Head over to the Cash App. $1 or $2 will do. We thank you. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, did y'all know Monday was the hottest day on earth? First it was Sunday, then it was Monday. And it seemed like it's just been raining every day since, right? But not this Monday. Not this Monday. This Monday was only like 85 degrees. But last Monday, I want to say it was last Sunday and Monday. It was like the hottest days on the earth. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not. But it's like I'm feeling like everything is turning up. Everything's turning up at the same time, including the weather. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got the political situation. They keep catching Chinese bombers and aircraft flying into Alaskan/American airspace. Benjamin Netanyahu just came and gave a speech to Congress and basically doubled down on his country and their stance, and the fact that no, there will be no ceasefire. Everything's like turning up. And so, some of y'all believe in weather modification. I believe in weather modification. I remember hearing about HARP like over 10 years ago. And now you actually have footage of these machines. I forgot what they're called, but they create clouds and they release clouds in the air. And did I read it or did I hear it a long time ago though? But like, the people who seek to control us study the ways that we control animals. If that makes sense. Like, they look at us like little mice or little ants in their own little laboratory to do whatever with. So for them to be tampering with the weather and things, it's no big surprise. You have to understand, when they talk about total like world domination, and I don't mean to use that in like as a comical term, but the people who seek to control the world seek to control everything. They seek to control every aspect of our lives in order to see what they can profit off of the most. And also, and I know you've all heard of like population control. If you have any questions about population control, go watch Infinity Wars. I think that was. And I'm not trying to be funny, but that really is the best way to explain it, right? Like Thanos had to collect all the Infinity Stones so that he could get rid of half the population of the earth so that the human population will be in balance with nature. And that's a real thing. That is a real goal, principle, thought, whatever you want to call it. And so when you see these things like, oh, this is the hottest day on the earth, here's here's what you have to understand. Yes, the Bible prophesies about these things, but the way that it's done is the thing that I'm always interested in. Like, okay, how is this absolutely being carried out? So you have to understand, like, yes, there are people up there playing with the clouds and playing with the atmosphere. And how can I say this without being punished by the censors? Trying to, whatever they have done so far or been doing has made it to the point where the usual inspiration and aspiration of the weather from our atmosphere cannot occur, right? Like usually during the day the sun heats us up and then at night we cool off, right? At night we cool off and it's easier to sleep. But now we live in a time where it'll be 100 during the day and 100 at night. Why is that? Why is the heat not able to escape like it used to? And then when you turn around and consider the winters that we've been through. And now I've been in Georgia since 92. Okay. And I'm not saying it never got cold here, but what I am saying is like these past couple of winters have been a little more exceptionally cold than the others. Like I definitely felt like I could have been up north and been going through the same thing and just had a little pretty snow to go with it. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to share that with y'all because it just really was like, dang, Sunday and Monday, the hottest days ever on earth. That's crazy. It's like we keep living through all these major life events. I don't know how many of y'all had family members stuck at the airport. My brother was stuck in the airport in Las Vegas for like a whole 24 hours. When he was supposed to leave for Cancun is when everything shut down. Like that Monday morning is when everything just like went crazy with the whole Microsoft situation. So he was stuck in the airport for 24 hours. And then my daughter was stuck in LA for, I think she was 3 days. She had to stay an extra 3 days because Delta had to cancel all their flights and then they couldn't reschedule her until the next week. But they were able to get her out a little bit sooner. I think they gave him some food vouchers. She had to get her own hotel because Delta had ran out of hotels. It has been a total mess. Like all praises to the Most High. She came home to yesterday. Like, thank God she came home. I have to tell you, one of the things that, like, one of my fears is being separated from my children. Like having traveled somewhere and not being able to get back to my children. I have my children have traveled somewhere and I can't get to them. That is one of my worst fears, being separated from my family when something serious happens. And we can't act like it's not going to happen. No, we're not supposed to live in fear, but I know that I have no interest in getting on a plane until they get this whole thing ironed out. Like y'all need to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to figure this out. Let's get all the plane, trains, and automobiles back on schedule before you start talking about me going anywhere. And listen, I'm telling y'all, I keep trying to bring myself to get ready to go on a cruise. I don't need to be stuck out in the middle of the water. That's what I don't need. I don't need that at all. Big Gahi, shalom and shalom. How you doing, sir? So yeah, if you had any family that was stuck, or if you have family that is still stuck, all prayers for y'all. Okay, prayers, and more prayers, because it is. Whew, I wasn't even the one that stuck, but just knowing that my family members was going through that was crazy. And my brother is like one of the calmest people. My brother is so calm, but even he was upset. He said that a whole riot broke out at the airport. Oh, people was the one of the attendants for the airline was on a microphone making an announcement or whatever, and people kept asking questions, and he told them people to shut the hell up and sit down or something. My brother said, next thing you know, you just hear people screaming and pushing, and somebody had passed out. They had to call an ambulance. It was a hot mess. So all praises. He got out safely. Him and his wife were fine. I was trying to hit Miami, but no early flights had seats. Listen, don't go nowhere. Like, get him about like 2-3 weeks to iron this out. I wouldn't go anywhere. And it's not so much not trusting the computer system. It's just that all those people whose flight was canceled, they have to get out. And now you understand what I'm saying? It's constant. So be careful. Like, if you just have to travel, be careful. Super duper careful. Like, this is perfect time for a private jet if you can afford one. You know what I'm saying? With me. I be forgetting. All right, but let's get on to our main topic. Okay, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be backed up for a long while. And it seemed like Delta got like the brunt of it, because from what I can tell, my daughter was telling me all they saw was yellow planes leaving from their hotel, because Southwest was still flying. So I don't know. Delta, y'all got to get it together. Y'all supposed to be like the Ritz-Carltons of airline. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's supposed to be Delta. Y'all can't be messing up now. Come on. All right, so our main topic, like a hook in the nose. And let me just start by saying this, okay? While we will be discussing political issues during this discussion, because it helps with the topic, I'm in no way, shape, or form taking up for any of these political candidates. I do not participate in this American political system because I believe it is all one big freaking joke, okay? So with that being said, the call to action for Kamala Harris has been one of the most bewildering things that I personally have witnessed in a long time. Okay? This is the second political figure in my lifetime that has been paraded in front of American descendants of slaves and has been told that she is one of us. No matter how many people go through this woman's bloodline, her family tree, and continue to show you that she is not a descendant of any kind of slave. And her father was Jamaican, What was his father? And do you not understand that saying someone is from a country does not define their ethnicity? I was born in Germany, but I am still an American descendant of slaves. Okay? Just because I was born on this soil, only on paper am I a German citizen. My bloodline is an Israelite. I'm a descendant of slaves. Okay? And so here we are again, because we went through this with Barack Obama, right? here we are again, Black people feeling like, oh, this is the candidate for us, and it's time for us to mobilize, and it's time for us to change. And do you not understand how many I saw so many TikToks for so many Zoom calls being announced, not just for Black women, but for white women as well. I have never seen, I'm like, not since Trump have I seen this kind of political momentum from white women. And it's like no one can help it. It's like a train that's coming, and you have no choice but to stand aside because it will mow you over. Listen, she's married to a white man, and she was raised East Asian, or excuse me, South Asian. Her mom is South Asian. She does not have the same kind of background that we have. Oh, she went to Howard she spent 4 years at a Black college. All of a sudden you feel like that gives her the same life experience as you? So what? She pleasures her, and see, this is what y'all gotta understand about these Black people. I don't know who said this, but they said it a long time ago. Black faces in high places are never going to help the rest of us because their loyalty, their responsibility is to that organization that they pledge to. Okay, these AKAs and these deltas and these alphas and these Q dogs and everybody else, their loyalty, their first priority is no longer the rest of Black people. It's no longer the Black people that they left behind. Now their priority is furthering the upper echelon Black agenda, which has been set not by Black people. Here's what a lot of us don't understand, okay? There are points in your life where you cross over into like a different world, if that makes sense, okay? I can tell you for myself, like having gone from a single working mother to now a married stay-at-home mom, like, no, my world is different. My thoughts are different. I don't look at things the same. I question some of the things that I used to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like your mind is renewed, okay? But it can be renewed for good or it can be renewed for bad, right? You see people who make it out of situations and, sometimes they turn back to give the hood a hand and sometimes they don't, right? But what you have to understand is you're talking to somebody who's never lived in the hood. Never lived in the hood. Probably never had to go without lights, without power, without food, never stood in a line, never had to shop with food stamps, never had to go to the corner store and deal with the Arabs talking to you crazy, never had to deal with the police bothering you or your brother, or your father, you understand what I'm saying? It's just Black experiences that are common among all of us. This person who you all are just so determined to elect to our leader does not have this experience. Her husband is never going to come home with a story about how the police harassed him. Her children are never going to come home with a story about how the teacher was mean to them just because they were the only Black kid in the class. She does not have the Black experience. Nothing about joining the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority is part of the Black experience. It is only part of the experience for those people. And you should know by now that those people have very little concern for you because where's the mobilization for Sonia Massey? And I know listen, there are people who are alleging along the same lines of the things that Alex Jones has been alleging about a few generationally traumatic events. If y'all follow along what I'm saying, I'm not trying to get cut off. Okay. And his whole world has been destroyed by it. right? So, but now there are people who are saying that this Sonya Massey situation is kind of starting to smell like a setup. And I've already told y'all, if something can be a possibility, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not true. I'm not going to sit here and say that crisis actors and false flag and rage bait and race war bait, I'm not going to say that those things don't happen. But what I will say is, where are the AKAs with that? Where are the deltas with that? Why is Kamala Harris raising all these millions and millions of dollars, but no one's speaking about the Sonya Massey situation? Or even the Sandra Bland, Tamar Rice, Trayvon Martin. I mean, we can go down the list. Where was the mobilization then when you were talking about real Black people? Where's the mobilization for the homeless Black people who are being thrown around, kicked around so that they're not sleeping in public anymore? Where's the mobilization for people who are... I saw a TikTok. This man was sleeping in a restroom in a park. And so now what they're doing in cities like LA is, wherever the homeless people are sleeping, they're making them move. They're making them pack all their stuff up and move. As if they're not just gonna be in another part of the same outside. Where's the mobilization for that? Where's the mobilization to help these daycares? Where's the mobilization to help single... See, how are you going to lead me if you don't know what I need? And so I want us to pay attention, because the people who are donating and mobilizing Kamala Harris are the people who know that their needs and their agenda is going to be met. Netflix just donated $7 million to her campaign. And no, I'm not canceling Netflix. You know why? Because any place else I go, they're going to donate to someone. HBO Max might donate to Trump. Xfinity might donate to Kamala. You can't escape it. It's literally the matrix we live in. Like when y'all want to get into the whole who supports who in the war in the, I'll just call it the Arabian Peninsula loosely. What I'm getting mad for. Me not going to Starbucks is not going to stop America funding who it chooses to fund. Me not shopping at Nike is not going to stop America from choosing who it chooses to fund. The amount of vitriol and hatred that we have experienced at the hands of this political system in this country over the last 500 years should be more than enough for those of us with the slightest bit of education to say that this is not right. And this is why I hate to say this, but this is why I feel like college is nothing more but a deepening of that indoctrination. It has to be, because how are all these highly educated, seemingly well-to-do American descendants of slaves allowing someone who is not like us at all, doesn't have our background, she doesn't even have the same bloodline as us? How are we crowning this person our leader when she's literally married to a white man? They keep pulling the records of her treatment of prisoners in the state of California. They keep pulling the records of her conduct during her time as a prosecutor in the state of California. And because the Black people who donate to her have so far removed themselves from the type of Black people that she was putting in jail, they feel like, oh, that doesn't affect me. I don't need reparations because I've already made it. I've got millions of dollars to donate politically. I can get my cause across. I don't need your reparations. And bump the rest of them that do. They should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. And see, I don't like that, pull themselves up by their bootstraps, because that mentality came from a person whose great grandfather was a slave owner who came over here and stole this land from the natives who were here, okay, transported me and you and our grandparents to this country to work for free and to build this country for them. They didn't pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. They pulled themselves up by the bootstraps that Black people built for them. It wasn't their own bootstraps. They pulled themselves up by the bootstraps that our Native American brothers and sisters bled and died on. Do you not understand that these people came to this country, and if they decided they wanted a plot of land, they went to the government and had the government sign a paper and say, make these brown people move from here because I want to live here now? And then you're going to have the nerve to turn around and tell me, oh, you should get it on your own. And then the descendants of the people who you raped and pillaged are going to stand there and clap and smile alongside you. That's what's more insulting to me. I'm more insulted by the Black women who are going along with this crap. No, you'll never be able to talk to me about anything because you clearly are not exercising the sense that God gave a billy goat. I mean, it's like the chickens in my backyard electing a wolf to lead them. It literally is that. And you feel like, oh, well, the wolf has on a muzzle right now, or the wolf is dressed just like us, so the wolf must be okay. Daryl, shalom, shalom. The wolf in sheep's clothing, if I may take it so basically, it's the same color as us, so it might be okay. We've got to stop that. And the world will, and it's crazy because they'll sit there and everything isn't about race. Everything is about race, but they'll throw this woman in our face, lie to us about her race, and then tell us that, oh, you should go along with this just because she's Black. Sure, sign me up. And what really, if you, one of the things that they keep talking about in this election is this whole abortion rights issue. They really, really, really are wanting you to just bank the future of everything on whether or not women will have the right to kill babies. That's what they keep bringing up. Oh, if we elect Trump, he's going to take all our reproductive rights. But do you hear what you're saying? Reproductive rights, the right to reproduce. No one can take that from you. No one can take that from you. We're trying to stop you from killing babies. No one's trying to stop you from reproducing. We're trying to stop you from killing them. Your reproductive right is the right to, unless you were sexually assaulted, no one took away your rights. No one took away your rights. You laid down and you open your legs. And now because you decided that this child is going to be an inconvenience to you, now this child has to die? And now you want me to base my decision on that? Here's a black woman that's going to allow you to continue killing your children. Vote for her. Here's a black woman who says she's not going to do anything for black people. Vote for her. And please miss me with the, oh, we need to hear the rest of what she said, because we didn't need to hear the rest of what she said when they passed that Asian hate bill. Do you know that I would get in more trouble for staring at a gay person crazy than I would for walking up to another black person and calling them a nigga? I can say nigga all day on social media and nothing's going to happen. But let me insult someone of the LGBT variety. Stop it, please. Stop. It is crazy. When Asians were supposedly being attacked, it was stop Asian hate, stop Asian hate. Pass me a lynching bill. How about that? Pass a lynching bill. How about that? But you can't do that because it only affects black people. In my lifetime, and what's so crazy to me is they'll sit there and be like, oh, this black person hung themselves from a tree. Who at all hangs himself from a tree anymore? Who at all? This not medieval times. It ain't Game of Thrones. Who of any nationality is hanging themselves from trees? Come on. Jumping off a building? Sure. Playing a little too close with a firearm? More believable. But you're sitting here trying to tell me there's people out here hanging themselves from trees on purpose? And you want me to believe that in this country? It's just like, you know, your cousin a klepto. You know your cousin got a problem stealing. You know this. Done been to jail and counseling, rehab, and everything else. You know this man has a problem stealing. So when you take him to Walmart, you make him walk in front of you and hold on to the cart and all kind of craziness. Something come up missing from your house. Who's the first person that everybody looking at? The cousin that steal. It just makes sense. But we'll sit here and let the media tell us, oh, look, they just hung themselves. And so where was all the mobilization when it was time to investigate the deaths of these black people? The Bible tells you a rich man has many friends, but people don't like poor people. People don't like poor people. And what a lot of us don't understand, or I guess we refuse to accept, is money makes things happen. This is why me and my husband were talking about this the other day. And the fact of the matter is, whether you want to accept it or not, whoever has the most money is running the government right now. All these donations that you hear coming in for Kamala and for Trump, these are the people that when it's time to make the laws, these are the people whose thoughts are considered. They don't consider the thoughts of us because we don't have enough money to influence them. I cannot give them enough money to successfully run their campaign right now. So my agenda means nothing. Sure, they make you think, oh, you can go through the political process and protest or whatever the case may be. But how much of a protest is it if I got your permission to protest? You told me I can only protest on these streets and at this time. The point of a protest is to cause a disturbance, to affect change. But if the government is giving me permission, then is it a protest anymore? At this point, it's a parade. At this point, it's just a parade. My daughter, when the Black Lives Matter protest was going on, my daughter had just graduated from high school and she wanted to do something. So she went down to City Hall and found out how much, what her and her friends had to do. If they wanted to march. Right? And so they marched, and the police were there watching it, everything. And yes, I was proud of my daughter for standing up and coming to the action that she felt was appropriate at that time, right? And so I would never discourage her. No, I was there. We was out there, me and my husband. And what's so crazy is that white people were walking up to us giving us money. They were like, we want to support any way we can. We understand this is y'all's fight. Can we give this to you? Get you guys some lunch or whatever. So no, I'm not going to discourage her, but I already know, like, okay, let's let them do what they're going to do so they can feel like they did something, and then now go home and be peaceful. And I titled it like a hook in the nose because if you've ever seen an animal, okay, so like what they used to do, they would put hooks, and then say you were moving a line of cows or whatever. They would put rings in the nose of the cow and then have a rope connecting them all together. So as they're pulling them, they're all going this way, and they have no choice but to go this way because you can't leave that hook. It's in you. You can't leave it. And so you have no choice but to go the way that you were led. And unfortunately, that's kind of like what's happening in this country right now. We kind of have no choice but to go the way that we are led. And there are some of us who are awake and who know that, wait a minute, this is not right. And we're calling out to the rest of the people that are hooked on this rope with us. And unfortunately, enough of them aren't waking up and saying, wait a minute, we're not going to keep going through this. We don't want to do this anymore. There are people, Black people, believe it or not, whose whole lifestyle is built off the back of lower class Black people who will get in your face and skin and grin. And I don't want to say this, but a lot of your beloved, trusted civil rights leaders, they built their political career off the Al Sharpton built his political career off the back of poor Black people. Now he's sitting there on CNN with his wife, who's however much younger than him. Benjamin Crump. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but why is he the only one that shows up in these situations? You mean to tell me that there's no other Black civil rights attorney available but Benjamin Crump, and he has to show up at every single incident? You don't find that suspicious, in the words of Dr. Umar? That's not suspicious to y'all? It can't just be suspicious when Gloria Steinem shows up to convict men of sexual assault. It can't only be suspicious when it's a white person. It can't only be suspicious when it happens to them. The red flag events can't only be suspicious when it happens to the other side. Kick the God, shalom and shalom. We have to stop thinking that for some reason we are excused from or not susceptible to the same kind of propaganda and programming within our community that other people are going through. I mean, look at the condition of our community right now. It's been nothing but propaganda and programming. Would you not describe the way that Black people have been led to destruction, single family homes, and poverty since the end of Reconstruction and the beginning of the civil rights movement? Would you not describe that as kind of like sheep being led? Would you not describe it that way? How do all of us end up, or how do this many of us end up in this situation? How do this many of us end up in poverty? How do this many of us end up as single mothers? And I know what you're going to say. Well, the poor will be with us always, but this many, for you to say that, oh, well, Black people, they just have a propensity to do poorly in life, that's just willful ignorance. You're just willfully ignoring all the outside factors that have occurred. You're just willfully ignoring history. You're willfully ignoring facts, because no better way to ensure that you end up living in the slums than to make it a law that you can't live by me and my nice suburban neighborhood. We did the same thing with Obama. They mobilized and they told us that we were supposed to vote for him just because he was Black. And I'm not going to lie, I voted for him the first time. I was caught up in the hype the first time. I remember I was on South Burnett when they announced that he was the president-elect. I remember. I was so excited. But it's like from that moment on was kind of like a level of self-education for me. And the more I started to learn, the more it was like, oh, heck no. And so much so, but by the second time that it was time for him to run, I was totally disenchanted with the political process. Like I wanted nothing to do with it from that point forward, because I realized it was a big sham. And then to see that the only agenda that was forwarded during his pregnancy was that of the LGBT community, and we still didn't learn from that. We still haven't learned from that. And Barack Obama told us the same stuff, that, oh, he wasn't coming just to do things for Black people. He was here to serve all Americans. Do y'all not remember that? And do you think that these people don't know that they not like us? Do you think that these people don't know where they came from? Do you think that this woman didn't go to a Black school and select a Black sorority on purpose? Here's what y'all got to understand. These people that you see in these positions of power, they begin planning this early on in their life. It's not just an accident. No, they purposely took steps to put them in certain positions. And now that they're propped up by the powers that be, should I say, they're going to parade them in front of us and tell us that they're Black. It's just like when Israelites sit back and tell you how they took all of our images and painted it white. It's literally what's happening to us today, right now. How our identity was stolen and given to a whole nother group of people. It's literally what happens to us. I told y'all, when I was growing up, all my life, a Black person has always been an American descendant of slaves. You couldn't call nobody else Black. You couldn't even call people from the Caribbean Black, because they didn't want to be identified with us. I know nobody likes to talk about it, but you can even go ask them now. And a lot of American descendants of slaves from the Caribbean do not want to be identified with mainland American Black people. Even more so back then. It was an insult to them. And it's a lot of them do still consider it an insult to be considered Black. But now we're moving into this time when it's politically convenient. And so now anybody with brown skin is labeled Black. And they'll parade them in front of you. The whole time, it's their long lost cousin. Like, here's what do y'all not understand that? And serve everyone except Black people. Right. Nothing about Black people at all. Trayvon Martin happened during Barack Obama's presidency, and all he did was get up there and it was like, oh, I could imagine that was my son. And that was the last you heard of it from him, because he can't just address issues for Black people. Why do we keep going along with it's like we're following the parade to our own death and destruction. We're literally letting the devil lead us into hell. And I can't understand. I really don't understand this. They kidnapped us from Africa and brought us here physically, but in every way since then, they've been leading us astray mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. And we keep falling for it. And I don't understand. These are people who supposedly sat in school, and this has to be further proof that they're not teaching the truth in these institutions of learning. Because how could you sit and learn and know everything that you know about the history of Black people in this country, about the history of this government, and still want Black people to actively participate in the political process as if my vote counts? Do y'all remember when the teachers in Atlanta had that cheating scandal because they was changing the Scantrons and stuff on the kids testing? That's kind of how it is in our political process, because you vote, but your vote doesn't count. It only matters what the Electoral College decides. And so it's like, yeah, I might circle A, but when they get my paper, they're going to change it and make it whatever they want to anyway. So why am I? And you know about the Electoral College. They tell us this in high school. And somehow, while telling us that other people decide our vote, they in the same breath turn around and tell us that it's important for us to vote. It sounds like a waste of time to me. You mean to tell me you're going to do what you want to do regardless of what I say? I want so bad for everyone to just not vote one year. Just don't vote. See what happens. Call a bluff. Call a bluff. See what happens. Okay, you got the Electoral College anyway, so why does it matter? See, I like to know who I'm dealing with. I like to know who I'm dealing with. If you a thief, tell me you a thief. If you're a liar, tell me you a liar. If you got a problem, tell me you got a problem. Let's deal with the problem. But what I can't deal with is a liar. I can't deal with a liar who will constantly cover themselves up. Okay, now it's one thing if you confess, okay, yeah, I'm a liar. And now I know you're a liar. Now I know not to ever believe anything you say. Okay, but when it gets tricky is when that liar doesn't tell you they're a liar. And here's what be funny to us. We see the lies. We see the inflation. We see the prices going up. We see Black people being murdered, nothing being like, we see the lies. We see the ignoring of our issues. And it's like we fooled ourselves to not believe what we're seeing with our naked eyes. It's like the game is that good. What they telling you is that good. And so what we live in a cloaked dictatorship. I'm gonna call it a cloaked dictatorship. And you know how you put a cloak on and it's like a coat, like a poncho, and it has a hood. And when you pull the hood over, nobody can see your face. Nobody can see your face. And so you can tell anybody anything. But we can't see your face, so we don't know what's really going on. And so America is a dictatorship. I don't even want to say it's disguised. Fine, I'll say disguised as a democracy for those who refuse to look. the characteristics of a totalitarian authoritative regime are censorship of the media, um and having an inner circle of elites who decide on a representative. And in order to keep their representative balanced, the inner circle of elites, they all have the same agenda. They're all on the same page. And so they agree to keep their chosen representative in line, because they're all on the same side. Is that not what's going on here in America? Like, they make us feel like, oh, other countries are oppressive because, like, they make us feel like the North Korean government is oppressive because they won't let their people see American TikTok. How's that oppressive? When I can't get on here and say what I want to say without being censored and taken down. If I went on I have been in conversations with people and the topic will be sexuality, and I'll say something like, "Ooh, I don't like girls," and then Facebook will come and try to like give me a warning for that. They'll give me a warning for that. Oh, it's bullying. Because I said I don't like girls. That's bullying. But somebody can read me for filth, call me all kind of filthy black, everything else, and let me report that comment. And, oh, there's nothing wrong with this comment. We're not going to take it down. That never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me, the selectiveness in the censorship. And so you see the censorship happening, but you refuse to believe that you live in a totalitarian regime. You refuse to believe that. Why? Why is it so hard for you to believe that? When you can't even make a phone call in private anymore. There's no means of private communication anymore. And if you think that, then your alarm clock hasn't went off yet. I can't pick up my phone without the NSA agent listening. I can't send a text message without the NSA people knowing. I can't put something in them. I can't do anything private anymore. The cameras in Alexa, the cameras on my phone, the cameras in the TV, the dishwasher, the refrigerator, like everything is now a two-way communication device. But we're the freest country and we still live in a democracy and a dictatorship. Why? Because they let y'all have pride parades. We're free. Because they let you gallivant in your sins. We're free. And here again, just like the AKAs and the Deltas and these people that join these sororities, you have black people that put their sexuality before their race. And I ask you, which one of those is a moot characteristic? Moot meaning you cannot change it. I can't change my color. I'm sorry, not moot. What is the word I'm looking for? Identifiable characteristics. You can identify me as a black person. You can identify me as a woman. That's all for it. You ain't got to ask. I don't have to tell you. You can look at me and tell. This is what we mean by identifiable characteristics. Handicap. You can look at some people and tell that they're handicapped. There's no denying that. My sexuality, though, if you don't ask, I don't tell, then you don't know. That is not an identifiable characteristic. They just decided to make it one. Because now this is more important than you being black. It's like we were already at the bottom of the totem pole here. And then they just added something to make us even more bottomer. I mean, because if two black people get in a fight and one of them people is gay, now all of a sudden it's not just a fight. Now it's a hate crime, even though it's two black people. One of them is gay though. So now it's not just a regular fight. You've insulted this characteristic of this person, and we've decided that this one part of this person is more important than you as a whole person. I'm not making it up. A simple look around, a simple gander around the world around you will tell you that this is exactly what's going on. And here's Kamala just in her pink and green and saying absolutely nothing. And y'all just going along with it. Can you really be driven by the hate of one person so much that you just fall into the arms of another devil? It's okay. I'm trying to like get it together in my head how I want to say this, because it's kind of like when Cain sinned, right? He's supposed to give the first fruits of his offering and he didn't. And the Most High accepted his brother's offering, but he didn't accept his. So instead of Cain just dealing with that sin, right, and correcting that and saying, you know what, I know I can give the Most High better. Let me repent. Let me come back and try to do better. He went from that sin to the sin of murder. And then to being cast out. And it's instead of us just standing on our own and saying, no, let's figure this out. Let's repent. Let's get back right with the Most High. And let's figure this out. We'll jump into another sin. We'll jump into something else. We'll go into an even deeper ditch. Instead of standing still. Because remember, what book of the Bible was that? Judges? I want to say it was in Judges. When the people started crying out, talking about, we want a king of our own. We want a king of our own. Give us a king like the other people. And ever since then, we've been going through the same stuff. And even now in this present day. And what was I reading? Maccabees? I think I was reading the Maccabees. And the Israelites had resettled. They were trying to rebuild the temple. But what you had was some Israelites who were going behind the back of the Israelite government to, I want to say it was, no, not the Romans. I don't remember who it was. But they went behind the back of the Israelite government to the secular government, telling them, oh, this is what they're doing over there. You need to stop them. There's always a group of us, for some reason, who feel like they would be better off in Egypt. Under master's control, being fed by master, being provided for by masters. Always a group of us, for some reason, that feel like this is the better alternative than figuring it out on our own and letting the Most High make a way. And it's not that he didn't. Do you remember the quail at night and the manna in the morning? Do you remember that? It's not that he's always come through for us. He's always provided for us. But for some reason, what he provided for us has never been good enough. And we just rather go back to, I can't even say go back to what was comfortable, because what part of slavery was comfortable? I can't speak for the Egyptian slavery, but the chattel slavery in America was so terrifying that people the Bible says it was so terrifying during the day that they would wish for the night, and then the night was so terrifying that they would wish for the day. It's like there's never a moment of peace, but there are people who would rather live in that than to have the peace and security of faith in the Most High and just going out and making it with his direction. I don't understand that. It's like the woman who'll stay with her husband even though he's beating on her, talking about, oh, well, he takes care of me. She'll stay and get beat on every day instead of realizing, like, hey, you could live all right without getting beat on. You might not have a big house and a fancy car, but you'll be at peace, and you can work your way up. And see, no, work your way up there shouldn't even be a factor in this conversation, because this is how we get so drawn away into the enemy's camp. Always looking for more material. This is what draws you away, the promise of riches and glory and equality, which you should all know is a lie by now. I keep telling y'all all the time, nobody wants to be equal. They all just want their chance to be in charge. And Black people, it's never going to be you. This government is never going to elect a nigga to be president. They're not going to elect anyone with the last name of Washington or James. Your first name is not going to be Ray Shanette or Shaniqua or anything like that. It's never going to be us at the head of this system of government. And until we realize that, and until we all come up, see, because you know what other nations of people do when they come here? They form their own communities. If you go to, I think it's Beaufort, there's a whole Asian community like all along that stretch of the city. You can't even read the signs. They don't even bother to put their signs in English. Why? Because it's not for you if you not one of us. When you listen, I grew up in Germany. I told y'all that. There are parts of Germany that are like for Americans from the military. So you'll have signs in German and in English in these places. But once you leave base, everything's in German. Why? Because that's who it's for. There's a little section here. I think it's like the Atlanta part of Decatur. That's what I call it. It's like the Atlanta part of Decatur to me. But that is an Indian space. There's nothing over there in English. You got to like Google and look it up and try to match the address and stuff, because it's not for you. I don't understand why we as Black people cannot get together and decide that what we can build amongst us is good enough, especially it is 2024 now. We don't need their permission to get their resources. We don't. Y'all want to brag about, oh, Black people are in government. Black people, where is the Black community? And I don't mean Black community like, oh, this hood over here and that hood over there. No, I mean a Black community where you can go for 3 and 4 blocks and it's nothing but Black businesses and Black people living there. And here's where all the Black lawyers, Black doctors, Black judges, Black restaurants, here's where everything is. We can never have that. And unfortunately, we can't even trust people among us to go and entreat with the government for us. What I mean by entreat, okay, if you go back to the times of, listen, y'all know I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, okay? So most of my analogies are going to come from there. But so if you go back to this time So what you have is like a lord, okay? And so the lord, you would consider them like a mayor, and they had leagues in that city. So if I'm the Lord of Winterfell, there are other lords, but they would be leagues. So like I'm the Lord of Winterfell, okay? My neighbor is my league, meaning that if anything happens to me, they're coming to war for me. Okay. And so sometimes you would say, like, okay, listen, I need you and you to go and entreat with the king for us. These are the issues we're having. Go and talk to him for us. Come back and tell me what he said. We can't even trust niggas to do that because they won't come back. Or if they come back, they coming back with a wire. Or when they come back, they coming back after they done snitched and told all the business. Because that lure of gold, it's the gold. It can't be anything else. Angelina Shalama Shalawam says, thank you for joining me. It can't be anything else. We've moved away from all of us make it or none of us make it to I don't care if anybody else make it as long as I do. And it used to be a point where it was only 1 or 2 black people in the room and they were having, but now, no, you got enough black people in the room now. Oh, not really though. Not really. Because America is still very much racist. So no, it's not enough black people in the room. I take that back. We can't keep saying that we want our own. The only way for black people to be in peace is to have our own. That is it. And I'm going to say this, we have got to get rid of those of us among us who mean us no good. Listen, you don't have to get on Facebook blasting a black business. Stop shopping there. Stop it. You do, just because the person is black, you are not obligated to deal with less than standard business practices, less than standard customer service. Yes, I will also say though, yes, we have to give our people some grace. A lot of us are first generation business owners. And I'm going to say, unfortunately, a lot of us do not have that corporate background to where we learn how to do certain things before we strike out on our own. And yes, that's a big disadvantage. Like, I'm very thankful for the years that I spent working in customer service, working in the medical field. It taught me a lot about organization, the flow of business, how you treat people, how things are done. And yes, a lot more of us need that education. But again, if we will all come together and listen to each other and try to understand each other and not be so hard on each other. We were on vacation this past week. Shout out to the hubby for taking us on vacation. We were on vacation this past week and we went to a restaurant. And as you know, a lot of places now are understand what sidebar. How are so many places understaffed, but so many people looking for jobs? I don't understand that. Okay, but we're back. So we were at this restaurant and I wanted to eat outside. So we go outside, the tables are dirty or whatever. My husband goes and gets somebody to come clean the table. While we're out there, these 2 black ladies come outside. They're looking around, and now the guy is cleaning up. He's cleaning up while they're coming outside looking around. So the lady's like, can you clean this table, please? And the guy's like, yes, I'm coming. I just want to get everything cleaned at one time. I'm coming. And instead of her just, okay, thank you. He gonna take all day to clean up around here. Ain't nobody got time for all that. I mean, just rude for no reason. And I have to say this as a person who's worked in customer service and who's worked in the medical field, the most difficult people to deal with are always black women. Always, hands down. The majority of the problems that I had dealing with people was from black women. complaining about nothing. It's like you're supposed to know what magical words to say to this person. Lady, I don't know you. Sit down. Like, why do you feel like your presence is so wonderful that the world has to stop and revolve around you? And then you make it difficult for other people. Like, you just making this man, clearly he's having a hard enough day. And you just want to, and this is black people doing it to black people. We do not have the luxury of being able to be nasty to each other like that. We need each other. We don't have that luxury. This isn't our place. I'm going to tell you right now, I would be hesitant. Even if I did get in a fight with another black person, I would be hesitant to call the police because I don't know who they're going to shoot. I don't know who they're going to believe. I don't know what's going to happen. It's just as unpredictable as if a white person called the police on me. So why do you think that just because your car is better than someone else's, or just because you make more money than someone else, that you're better to them, when the fact of the matter is, if they pulled us all out in the street and they was calling for all of us to be locked up, they taking your black butt, my black butt, his black butt, and her black butt too. It don't matter. And now we all in the same situation. We all on the same level now. Because while you've been so busy being led away from your people, from the real culture, not this bull crap that some white people at Viacom decided was our culture. I'm so tired of that BET for the culture. What culture? Trash? And y'all keep going along with it. And this is what I'm talking about. The puppets. Keep going along with it. Kamala gonna be making her appearances on BET. Then you got all these slutty rappers and these ignorant transsexual, supposed to be male rappers. I'ma say it because any man that puts on a dress, that's what you are. You're not gonna turn around and tell me, oh, I just do this for fun. You're not gonna turn around, oh, I just paint my nails for fun. That is for girls. That is for girls. And you're not going to sit here and convince me that, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. But the same women that will accept this, the same women that will accept this effeminate behavior will be the same women turn around talking about, oh, I can't find no good man. I can't find no strong man. These men don't want to pay bills. They don't want to provide. They don't want to open the door for me. You're not looking for a man. You're looking for a girlfriend, obviously. And so no wonder he don't want to work. He feel like he as pretty as you are. Harriet left a lot of them on purpose. Because they didn't want to go. Do you know Harriet also killed her fair share of Negroes? Good for her. Because for some reason, that house nigga energy is strong. The house nigga energy is strong. And I know what y'all gonna say. Oh, I know you ain't talking little yellow girl. You'd have definitely been in the house. Listen, if I was in the house, I prayed to the Most High that I would have been one of the ones sneaking food and clothes and everything else and helping my people as much as I could from the position that I was in. I prayed to the Most High that I was never one of them who looked down on the others just because I was able to be raped inside the master's house as opposed to inside of a shack. He rapes me on the couch. Thank you very much. I get to eat my slops in the house. The stupidest thing. The stupidest thing. You'll let the stupidest thing make you feel like you're better than your brothers and sisters and cousins and aunts and uncles and everything else. You're all on this vote for Kamala train. Why? Ask yourself why. What is has Kamala said anything about correcting the Department of Education? Has she said anything about that? Has she said anything about restructuring the daycares in this country? Yes, the government is involved with daycares. There's something called CAPS, child care assistance, where the government helps pay for the daycares. So they could do something about the condition of the daycares in this country. They just don't care to. Because if you can't afford Montessori, then Atticus, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, Atticus? You want to say shalom to everybody?
Shalom. Shalom.
Where Paxton?
He's asleep.
He's asleep. Paxton was supposed to come down here and talk to you guys. He had some topics lined up and everything. Oh, my baby fell asleep. Maybe he'll come next week. Okay, so I brought up the topic of like a hook in the nose because that's how a lot of us are being led astray, not just naturally but also spiritually. Okay, I want you to take some time this week to just examine your habits and how they are controlling you. Good habits or bad habits, because my grandma used to say, too much of anything is good for nothing. So just examine it. You understand what I'm saying? Make sure that you are in balance. Make sure that you are feeding your spirit more than you are feeding your flesh. And I have to check myself with that sometimes because I love to read. And I'll get caught up in a book, and then the spirit will convict me like, okay, well, when the last time you picked up your Bible? So stuff like that. It's not always about a bad habit. Sometimes it's just about making sure that we're feeding our spirit more so that we are being led by the Holy Spirit and not by our flesh. What you feed more, that is the loudest voice. Okay. So if you are feeding your Holy Spirit, if you are thinking on good things, pure things, lovely things, things that are of good report, if you are studying your word and you are staying humble before the Most High, then your spirit, man, is going to be stronger. The Holy Spirit is going to be the one to rise up in those times of pressure, in those times of situations. Okay, but if you're constantly feeding your flesh, that's who's going to lead at wartime. And the results are always going to be disastrous. Okay, so let's just make sure that Paxton had topics. Yes, Paxton had topics. What did he want to talk about? I forgot. He came to me yesterday and he was like, Mom, can I come on your show? And I was like, well, you always come on at the end. What you mean? You want to come on at the beginning? He said yes. He told me his topics. I forgot what they were, but he said he needed 18 minutes. He needed 18 minutes to talk about his topics. And he's supposed to come in at the end. Oh, my poor baby. He's sleep. Oh, you want to say anything, Ada?
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Monologue McGad, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know he was going to come and make his appearance. What's up, Boo Thing?
What's up, son? I just been upstairs working like a Hebrew slave, hanging up shells and stuff.
You hung up my shelves?
Hey, man.
Y'all, my husband's been so busy. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. Them shelves been up there for weeks just sitting. So thank you so much. Is you about to drink my water too? I'm about to say, give me my water. Y'all
Want
just
to pump water away from me.
punk water? Why? Because it's in a pink cup. Anyway. Atticus knows the buttons. Okay, Atticus, tell him about the businesses real quick. Where you get your shirts from?
The production.
Bouncy houses?
Top tier parties.
And the doggies.
The dog, Shebra's puppies.
Shira don't got no puppies.
Mono's West Side Bullies. Angelina, I will be going live on Saturday, most high willing, and I'm going to start trying to go live every Saturday. I'm probably going to try. I'm going to try to do an in-person Shabbat class at least once a month because I have people and congregations asking. I'll praise to the Most High. Listen, man, the Most High's putting a lot on our plate, and we're trying to learn how to balance it all. You know, I'm just a mere mortal man that
Not
loves
a
that loves the Most High and wants to do what He called me to do, and also trying to do what I can for my family. Yeah, we're going to start this congregation because the Most High is building the congregation, and we got to go forward. And one thing we don't want to lack is the calling of the Most High.
Amen.
So we will be going forward with Fruit for a Fellowship Saturdays. I have a couple people that will be assisting me. So yeah, man, we're going forward, man. Saturdays, man. I'm gonna call it. No, I'm not gonna call the time. I want to say 10 a.m. to 12. I want to say 11 to 1. You know, so we're gonna figure it out though. But you will know for sure. All praise to the Most High.
All praise to the Most High. Yeah, I'm so happy. You want to go upstairs?
I've been talking to too many people just asking. So
yeah, all praises. Please keep asking him, y'all, and please understand, like, what he's saying is real. Like, his heart is to be in ministry, and it's just hard balancing. It's hard balancing when you don't have a Monday to Friday 9 to 5.
it's hard balancing when you don't have a congregation.
Assistance.
A congregation. You know what I'm saying?
That's
What it
it.
will.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at also want to shout out Brewchella that's taking place this weekend. You know, if you guys can make it to Cali or if you're on the West Coast, man, make sure y'all pull up on Brewchella this weekend, this Sunday, man. You know, but I was just looking at them and it's like, bro, it's probably gonna be a lot easier, a lot better on those because like there's a congregation that's they're sponsoring Brewchella.
Mhm.
Our people over there at what's the name of the camp?
True Nation.
True Nation. Our praises for True Nation. Shout out to them. So yeah, man. So, but when you got a congregation, man, a lot of this stuff gets easier, man. And I pray the Most High blesses me with a congregation that I can lean on for His glory, not to take advantage of, not to use. But so we can team up to have a group of people, man, that can go out here and impact the world. Baha Shema Mashiach Yahawashah. So, anything?
Oh no, I don't have anything else. I believe
Here
I said
Thursday,
it.
shout to make sure y'all tune in, man, to the house of Mono. Why Boaz, I want your ass, nigga from Miss Mono. Hey, check this out. I'm sitting on a single right now. Now I think this is the hottest track in Yasharala for the summer. Roway the Chef. Listen, man, it's one of them.
It's one of them.
It's one of them.
It is like it's catchy. It's been in my head since I heard it. It is
Yeah, we'll be
very
releasing that.
catchy.
We'll be releasing that soon. Also, man, if you don't already check out Hezekiah. Hezekiah, man, just dropped the album. So make sure y'all go get it. Man, that thing been sitting in the top 10 of gospel and Christian albums.
All praises.
Man, for the past few days, man. All praises to the Most High for Hezekiah. Y'all please go stream it and go download it, man. He one of the real ones, you know what I'm saying? And the talent is dope.
We like to push those who got great excellence and presenting a dope product through the spirit, man. To spread our message to the masses. So make sure y'all go check that out. And y'all just stay tuned in, man. Also, huge announcement coming soon. Huge announcement coming soon. Keep your calendars clear for the end of November. We got another not F3, but B3 taking place, man, at the end of November. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in. On to that. Hey.
All right. Well, I hope something that was said on today will help you, whether you're listening live or on the replay. Again, I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me this evening. If you feel so led to help out with the efforts here at the House of Mono, you can head over to the Cash App, $ the House of Mono. $1 or $2 will do. Thank you so much.
Sheesh.
Angelina, Big Guy, he Keep the Chef, Shy, the Master Herbalist, and Saya TV. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. I look forward to seeing y'all here next Thursday. Same black time, same black station. Don't forget to tune in Saturday for Sabbath class with Monologue McGad and Fruit Forward Fellowship. I love y'all so much. I will see y'all in these content creator streets, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Miss Mono's World. Shalom and shalom and good night. Mono.
Living super clean. That it came on.
One time for my king doing king things. Mommy's hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I
Tune in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue McGod. Now also available on the Saya TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass.